got a few pirates kicking about. I've started to get a bit carried away with the whole pirate theme, so you might spot some eye patches throughout. But essentially, me and Andy are on a mission to develop smarter players. I was a school teacher trying to do analysis with my class. The reason I created Coach Logic was everything within pedagogy was telling me to get pupils involved in learning, in the learning process, but everything I knew about analysis was very hierarchical and top-down. I was really struggling to get engagement from that using traditional tools. So I guess Coach Logic was trying to get everything online, giving players ownership of the analysis, getting them to clip up stuff, ask for support or come up with solutions to problems. They get to create content, so they get to clip up those moments, create a presentation, really think about it. And then the players' environment is essentially like this: less people, unless you're an American football team, I guess, but less people. And it's a presentation, and then it's a question fired out to the audience, where you get maybe 2 seconds to form an opinion on something you've seen for the first time. Your answers aren't going to be great, and if you put the coach in that environment, their answers wouldn't be so good either. So it creates skeptical players. Is this actually helping us? And it creates coaches that don't really believe that players have the knowledge to help with the analysis. So for me, it's just about balancing up that process. This guy is Louis Van Aan. He's important in the whole thing. He created the CAPTCHA, I'm not a robot thing. So if you're ever on a website and it wanted to make sure you're not a robot, you tick a box, or you start to say there's a shop window in 5 out of these 15 pictures or something. Essentially what he did was start off with CAPTCHA. It frustrated him that everyone was wasting time checking a box that actually didn't do anything. And he was starting to calculate the total amount of time wasted checking a box. So what he started to do was he started to put bits of text out. So you'd have to kind of interpret words. So rather than jumbled up words that mean nothing, it started being like words within text. And then he would also have pictures, like I was saying before. And what he was doing was he was digitizing books. So every time someone contributed to a CAPTCHA, they were now helping through crowdsourcing to determine what that text said, so it could be digitized and put online, or what that picture had in it, so you could search for it. And he was able to create a kind of environment where the wisdom of the crowd was better than the experts, and they could actually start to get through this content at a far greater rate, just by everyone contributing, and then all the outliers obviously not taken in and gone with the medium. And that's not experts, that's just people contributing. The other thing he did then was he went, how can we do this in language? So he created Duolingo. And Duolingo is essentially a bunch of novices, never done a language before, but being fed sentences. And then they have to interpret that sentence or paragraph or something from the language they want to speak, or vice versa. And what he's now doing is translating the web. So obviously the web is heavily English, then Spanish, and he's now starting to translate the web through novices, all translating bits of text. So again, novices have a better impact than the experts. So it kind of got me thinking, this is my team, the guy on the end's a pirate, there's a player who's a pirate as well. So these guys here, they're not novices. Like, they've been playing the game for about 10 plus years. Like in any other industry, they're given a lot of respect for that, and they're probably cast as senior or experts because they've been involved in the game for that long. Because in business, these guys would be experts if they've been gaining that knowledge. So if novices, or people that don't understand the language, can pull together and create a better data set than the experts, then your players, your athletes, can definitely give you maybe a better data set than the analysts, or at least a different view, or at least you get to find out what they know, which is really important when coaching. So all that got me thinking. Anyway, I'm going to chuck it back at you because I want it to be interactive. I'm going to show you a clip. It's rugby, but you'll get it. If you don't know rugby, you'll still get this. It's from our game at the weekend. So this just happened at the weekend. Oh, I've got no volume. One sec, I'll just put this in. Oh, the volume doesn't matter actually. Let's check it on. We'll go back. We're in the black. We're in the black, by the way, just in case. So we'll stop it there. This is a Scottish Premiership, by the way, and you wonder why Scotland play the way they do. This is the chaotic nature of the Premiership that the players come from. But with that view on it, what any hands up?
Advantage over.
Your feedback, B? Anyone got any?
Teacup.
Teacup, good, yeah. I think fully under pressure. I like it. Yeah, anything else? That's cool.
Need to practice catching kicks.
Practice catching kicks. Yeah. All right, that's fine. So I'm going to let you watch that a few more times. While I'm kind of manually pressing play every time it gets to the end, I should have put a loop on here. I want you in your groups to just have a chat around the content, and then on the post-its, just write bits and pieces on there that you've observed in that piece of play. With your coach's hat on, that you're the coach of the team in black. All right. So I'm just going to continue to play it for a few times, and then start having a discussion. Off you go. I wonder if you picked up on this. So if I pause it here, this guy, he's a hooker. He's a front row. Just track him. So he gives away the pass, right? Bad. But awesome to get there. Awesome. This guy, the far side, once he put this kick in, says, pause it here. This guy here, it's bad that he's dropped it, so my focus is on the guy dropping the ball. However, if we really look at this, that's really cool. He's just noticed that he's in front of the ball, he understands the rules, doesn't make it a penalty, gets his hands up, gets back on side, allows it just to be a scrum. We were dominant in the scrum, so we put him under pressure in the next scrum. But anyway, that's really cool from him as well. So in a period of horrible negatives, where there's big moments, there's a lot of really good positives there, which you don't capture in the first view. So I just wanted to kind of make that. This next one, I'll just play it. So watch this. That's not good. That's not good. We'll watch it again. Oh. In slow-mo, I don't know why I did that. The ref calls a knock on, it's not a knock on. Oh, it doesn't matter. So that's that. Actually got me thinking you could deliberately head it over the try line or something, confuse teams. So what this does though is it sets up a conversation. So if I start to show here, so at the top I just put the word chat, because as a coach I didn't really know why that happened. I knew it was bad, I didn't know why it happened. And I get like 13 responses from the players. Essentially what the players have noticed in that clip, it becomes a coach problem. So the backs coach had told him he always needs the ball from a specific position in the line-out for him to have a successful backs move. Me as a forwards coach, I always prioritise ball. So I said, like, if we're getting picked off somewhere, ball's most important. So that created conflict within the team. So the lineup caller changed the call to prioritise ball because he'd been picked off at that spot a few times, but hadn't told one of the guys in the lineup. So there's a coaching conflict there, as well as the discussion prior to the line-out. So the actual execution of the line-out is the kind of least important part. And I would have never found that out if I had been in a room with the players and said, this is not acceptable. They would have just nodded their heads, and I would not have found out any insight as a coach. So that shows just the players getting involved there. Next one. So it doesn't always go according to plan. This is Hamish. Hamish is doing opposition analysis. We've got a playoff match against a team in blue and white. We find out that when the team is 5 meters away from the line out, they always compete with one of their players. So I'll put this on. So the guy in the middle always competes. He always gets up. Picks them up. They don't compete anywhere else, just there. Hamish identifies that. One more time. So yeah, Hamish identifies that and says we need to go somewhere else. If we're in that situation, let's go somewhere else. We'll have a more successful lineup. I should have done this live rather than waiting for my video self to do it. So if we had, I've just said, I agree essentially. If we move up the feed to the actual game. Yeah. So this is the same situation in the game, we've prepped for it. He said, poor call from me, we should have went to 2-0-2-2. Essentially all the things we spoke about prior to the match. He's standing opposite the guy that competes 5 meters out, calls himself, gets picked off. So it doesn't always work, but he's definitely learned from that. And then in the next game we have, I charged him with taking on the line-out leadership. But then he delegated the defensive responsibility to Vince because he'd had a pretty successful season doing that. So to create an environment where the players feel comfortable enough to delegate responsibility and not think I'm going to be judged here is actually really valuable as well. So you don't always get it right, but you always learn something by involving the players in the analysis process. This is just a basic structure that we use where all the players basically take ownership for it across the different big rocks that we have. We then have delegation of that if you're away at a wedding or whatever else happens in a kind of semi-pro amateur environment. That's other stuff. I've been trying to challenge the analysis process, so I'm thinking of lunchtime analysis sessions at schools. We completed a full match analysis within 10 minutes, so I give every player a time segment, so 2 minutes each. Then we completed that match analysis, all the time segments came together, and the full 80 minutes was complete within 10 minutes. That then allowed more time for the players to present back on the things they'd picked out from that 2 minute period, rather than me being involved at all. So the whole process was involving the players. Total time was 45 minutes, definitely could be done on a Monday lunchtime. So just trying to think of different ways we can collaborate around analysis. Just think it'll give you far more insights as a coach. I only had a short while. Stuart's coming up next, so thanks very much. Cheers.